Okay, so I'm going to try and cover my perception of the differences between William and Catherine in how they present an organic, almost maintained but organic vision and links to their children in order to maintain their protection but also a connection. And we've seen that for many years within the royal family and the role that they do in how when we hear William and Catherine speak on their children, we will recollect memories of time before in when we've watched them in a moment or two on our screen as they connect with them on full view. We know the basic of George, Charlotte and Louis. We know Charlotte's not for the bullshit. We know George is a bit nervous like his dad used to be, and we know Louis is a wild card, which is so relatable to many. We know and we watch Catherine ask Grandad to have him on his lap so she can have a break for a minute or two. Please, William, ask your dad. We have this basic understanding of who they are. So when we hear them speak about memories and moments with their children, our minds will instantly connect the dots as we in our mind will create this add-on almost to what we've already seen with them real time. What I see with Meghan is she slowly now drip feeds and teases this 50-50 half in, half out game as she tries to sell the home brand, the family brand, the showing up for people brands. We watch her give half of her children as she wants us to connect, but it's this synthetic way. It's not organic, it's not natural, because when she speaks of moments in time behind the screen, their family home, in how these children will speak, in what they will say, our minds will try and recollect memories of previous time. And what do we find? There's no moments of watching their natural back and forth like we get with the royal family, of course. There's no moments in time where we see the children run up to daddy, or we see the passion between this family. All we have when we recall is this negative emotion of how we've watched Harry and Meghan remove those children away from any connection to their family. All we have in our mind is previous story times in which Meghan has reflected on moments with the children, but the children we don't see. But when we do see them, it's only in a drip feed and half view, because Harry and Meghan's need is to protect their children and that need for privacy. But it's that 50-50, half in and half out, in which the Queen understood you can't do, because the Queen, believe it or not, in a 70+ year reign, understood what the people desire as we watched her take every step in every way in the right direction as she had to maintain. I don't speak on the children. I rarely do. I sit on the edge because they didn't ask for this. But we're watching more growing now as Harry and Meghan can no longer dip into the royal family so extreme, because for years they've been off the scene. So the new, what seems to be, in my opinion, the new currency is those children, in slowly seeping them to our screen, but only a little bit. Again, that 50-50. But they can't have their cake and eat it, you know? And that's the thing with Harry and Meghan. We can't compute. We haven't got a foundation of what they actually are. Just the Jackanori, as in Meghanori, tell us another story of who and what you are. And again, when we watch her do that, we recall on everything we've seen her place out. And it is the absolute opposite to the words that will come out. And this is why there's this rejection, as we can't recollect any memories of showing up. We can't relate actually, when Meghan speaks about being away, as she chooses this way, she chooses because this is not a role within a tradition, within a family, which has gone on hundreds of years before. You wanted free, you wanted privacy, and you've got all the money to do that. But we watch you fly into Jamaica to watch a movie. We watch you go into Nigeria on Mother's Day as you wear a yellow dress to symbolise your love for them, rather than being there and having the breakfast they made for you. We can't relate to that, but neither can we recollect any moments of you seeing you be that. And this is the synthetic and not organic view in which we have of them in their children, only on half view. And I don't think we can ever. And here's the thing, and someone said in my comments the other day, and it was so truthful, it was so sad. The reality is we've watched Prince Harry. And that's why a lot of people were happy for him to get out. We thought he would go and find happy. We thought he'd go and find privacy for his children. But now we're slowly watching them be rolled out. But we've heard him and we've watched him speak to Gabor about the sadness of losing one person in his life, his mom. But we are also simultaneously watching and have watched them remove everyone who could love their daughter and son away from them. So when we actually, with balance in a black and white view, you grieve the loss of one, how many are they going to grieve at some point in the future as they look on? And here's the thing, as I recall now my memories, as I reflect on my growing up, in how my biological dad wasn't on the scene, he got taken away. So that unconditional love, that back and forth, that natural wasn't there from day one. So when, after we got out of the abuse and I went in a refuge and I finally found this man of my dreams, my fairy tale dreaming, because it will happen to those children, it will. They have their own brains, their own minds, their own seek, and at one point that will seep through to them as they will see their families across the main stage on the TV. But when I met my biological dad, I was stood in front of what could have been a stranger on the street, because there wasn't any unconditional memories. There wasn't any recollection of times gone by. There was nothing there. It was gone. In my head, my mind was telling me, this is my dad. This is my dad trying to spike up a memory or emotion. Too much time had passed and it was never ever found. And this is the saddest thing as we watch Harry and Meghan as they choose to roll them out, as we recollect on what they are and what they have done and what we have witnessed as they take them away from them. The real damage that will eventually one day pan out. These are my thoughts, my opinions, obviously, as I speak to you like a true movie review at everything they place out before me. As I question why you wouldn't keep them away and in privacy. Why would you cast them amongst and amidst all this negative attention that you receive because of the actions you've placed onto our screen? Why would you do that to them? And it speaks to me, as I look on in a cynical way now, that they are your new bid, not for free, but for currency. A conversation about the royal family as they are in line almost. It's honestly, you can't compute what they do. And that's why I've not watched With Love Meghan. I just tried to watch the Drew Barrymore interview and I can't because of growing up in that abuse. I understand gaslighting in front of me. My stable mind, my functional brain will keep threat away. I understand when someone's so desperately trying to convince that they actually do the opposite. And I've got no time for that. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, my recollections as I reflect to you, again, like a true movie review.